Fall Guy. No, we're fine. We're fine. Yeetus Clan. What's this? So it's all about playing Clan of the Yeetus. Okay, whatever. We are 3 levels away from finishing the season. So we will be finishing the season today. That's a guarantee. We're really close. I'm hitting the shop. Oh, Mellow Yellow, that's nice. But I'm not gonna fucking spend money for it. Oh yeah, WWE. The Xavier Woods one is cool. Honey Hands? I think that's neat. I like that one. That's probably the first worthwhile costume in a fucking long ass time. Cause like comfy socks, really? Oh my god. We don't take it yet. Oh. So I will fully admit it has been a long day and I'm so tired. But even though I should have done this yesterday and I realized my mistake, we're gonna just jump right into it today and hopefully we'll do a short show. I'm aiming for like an hour and a half. Which, I mean, normally we go for like 3 hours, so... Yeah, so I'm just gonna... let's do this Clan of the Yeetus thing. I have no idea what this is gonna be. And let's just get right into the news. So, our first story tonight, as the way the news goes, is... Oh my god, I'm so tired. It's been a long day. So, Knights of the Old Republic, the Star Wars game. I want to say, I don't think it was at the Game Awards, but at some point, I want to say it was at a PlayStation conference. Maybe it was the PS5 conference. I don't remember the exact details. But at some point they announced that they're remaking Knights of the Old Republic. And you know, people got excited. Knights of the Old Republic is a pretty popular Star Wars... It's one of the most popular Star Wars games. So, like, that makes sense, you know? Yeah. But, I want to say it was like a week or 2 ago. They announced that the director of Knights of the Old Republic had quit the project. So now the game was out of a director. So that was not good. And then earlier this week they announced they had lost another director. Again, also not good. And then it finally came out, the rumor does come out, that Knights of the Old Republic has been indefinitely delayed. It's basically, from my understanding, in the same camp as, oh, what's that game? Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. Right? I don't think that game's been indefinitely delayed, but it's been delayed a lot. Right? It's gotten a bunch of delays. So... this game, Knights of the Old Republic, yeah, it has, because it's lost several directors, it has been delayed. And as of this moment, I think they said they were looking for a new director. I'm going to look for the Nibelion tweet real quick. Let's see here. We'll talk about that story later. We'll talk about that story later. I'm just having to reverse back through these things. Oh, they're giving away Yakuza Like a Dragon on PS Plus for the month of August. Pick up that game. If you have not played Yakuza Like a Dragon, I haven't finished it personally, but it is more... I played some of it on Xbox Game Pass, so if you have Game Pass, it's also there. It's a fucking great game, that Yakuza Like a Dragon. Really impressive all around. Yeah, I'm trying to find the story. There's a Grand Theft Auto story. I'm not gonna worry about it. Whatever. Pinocchio. Okay, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake is indefinitely delayed. Bloomberg has learned developer Aspyr abruptly fired 2 directors this month and told staff the project is on pause as it tries to figure out what comes next. Okay, so that's the whole story. They fired 2 directors, and so they've paused the project until they can figure it out. Okay, I was actually interested in the Knights of the Old Republic remake because everyone speaks so highly of that game, and I was like, yeah, I'd love to give it a shot, you know. Because yeah, people really do like Knights of the Old Republic. At least I think they do. I don't know. I remember there being some like infamous problems with like the dialogue system, if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm thinking of the sequel, but there was like this whole thing with like the dialogue system, and it was something to do with that. I don't remember. It's been a long time. Yeah, and I think it has the same problem as like a Mass Effect games do when it comes to their dialogue systems, or you know, something along those lines. Where like, or technically Fallout 4 does, where the dialogue choice isn't clear enough. I don't know. People still really like the game. I know the older versions are on Switch, but you know, a remake is very tempting. Why'd you think they're remaking the fucking Last of Us again, even though it's only 10 years old and it's already got a PS4 version that you can play on a PS5? Because it's a very tempting thing to do. But yeah, I don't, you know, it sucks. I feel bad for the people whose jobs, who at Aspyr, whose jobs are kind of in limbo right now, because what's the project going to be? But other than that, it happens all the time. Again, Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, highly claimed one of the best games, and yet it's kind of been in limbo for a while now. It's been in limbo for a long time now. Next up, Mario Kart 8. So everyone was like, okay, when are we going to get the next Mario Kart 8 DLC? I'm so excited for the next Mario Kart 8 DLC. And then we've heard nothing for a long time. Because the first DLC came out a while ago. So it was just, oh, when's the next DLC going to come out? And finally, they announced the next DLC will be out next week. So August 4th, which is a very short ways away, we'll have the next DLC. It will be, so it's Wave 2. Oh, sugar snappies. So yeah, Wave 2, it will feature, again, 8 more tracks. The first track, and this is, I think, the big surprise, is the first track, which is called Sunday something? Skytop Sunday, I think? It sounds right in my head. Okay, yeah, I have the list right here. Sky High Sunday, so it's not Skytop, it's Sky High. Sky High Sunday is a brand new track. It's not coming from the mobile game. It's not coming from any of the other games. It's a brand new track. Oh, are we gonna hit level 100? Oh, we hit level 100. We're max level. Burka burka burr. Yay. You know, honestly, not that hard. I mean, what? We've been playing Fall Guys updated in what, June? It took us, I want to say, a little over a month to get the full season pass. That's not bad at all. Plus, we got Mechagodzilla, which is an amazing costume. Because Mechagodzilla is one of my favorite fictional characters of all time. Fuck yeah, Mechagodzilla. Yay. I'm not going to wear the costume yet, but it's really cool that we got it. Yeah. So what was it? Okay, so Mario Sky High Sunday, a brand new track. I don't know the public's perception on this. I'm going to assume the public's perception of Wave 2 has been pretty positive. I'm sure the tracks still look about the same, at least from my point of view. But I don't really care how the tracks look. What I give a shit about are the tracks fun. So, well, High Sunday, I have no right reference for. I don't know if it's going to be good. I don't know if it's going to be bad. It might be good. You never know. But it's an interesting course, to say the least. But the track that's really that people are going to love, and why I'm going to guess the perception of this has been rather positive. Oh, I meant reception. Is that they brought back Waluigi Pinball. Waluigi Pinball is considered by many to be the best Mario Kart track ever. Right? It is a very beloved track from Mario Kart DS, and then later on Mario Kart I think it was also in the 3DS version as well. That sounds right in my head. Either way, it's a very beloved track, you know. So, and everyone's request for this Mario Kart 8 stuff, especially if they were only bringing back old courses, was for Waluigi Pinball, because Waluigi Pinball is so beloved, right? That was everyone's like one request, and yeah, Nintendo seemingly knows that, because they're giving it to us in, yeah, the second wave. The fan favorite, one of the highest rated courses of all time, Waluigi Pinball. I don't know, it is, having, like, because all the rest of these are remade tracks, having a new track is very interesting, because it definitely does open the floodgates for what else will they do. Part of me does, you know, I know some people aren't going to like this. Part of me does hope they do a character pass as well. Right, a pass that adds in new characters and new carts. Right, give us Kirby. Ever since that Smash Bros. Trailer, back in, what, 2014? 2013, maybe? Because Mario Kart 8's 2012, if I'm correct. It might be 2013, but I think it's 2012. But there was a Smash Bros. Trailer that had Kirby and Mario Kart. And Kirby has yet to be added into Mario Kart. Add Kirby into Mario Kart, Nintendo. It's a great idea. But no, they're basically just making a new Mario Kart game. And yeah, theoretically, Sky High Sunday opens up the floodgates. I don't think they're going to be as open as people want. But it does have a lot of potential. But Waluigi Pinball, that's a great course. The rest of these courses, I like Calamari Desert. Calamari Desert's an N64 course that I do like. It's the one with the train on it. It's a very simple but rather effective course in my opinion. Mario Circuit 3 is an SNES course. I don't really care for any of the SNES courses. Snowland on the game, right, all the GameCube course. I also don't care for the GBA courses. But with a lot of the GBA courses, they basically make them into brand new tracks. And Snowland is no different, so it's basically a brand new track. Mushroom Gorge from the Wii version, I think because it's one of the first, like, 4 courses in the Wii version. Mushroom Gorge is pretty iconic. At least it feels like it, in my opinion. I could totally have the wrong people's perception, but the first, like, 4 courses in Mario Kart 8, with Mushroom Gorge, Toad's Factory, the other ones whose names I'm forgetting, they all feel really iconic in my head. But that just might be me. Let's see. So from Mario Kart Tour, there's New York Minute, which is a New York themed course. Again, if these were new courses, I would expect this to be New Donk City themed, because the idea of a New Donk City themed Mario Kart course has a lot of potential. But you know, sometimes you got to take what you can get. And I know some people really hate the tour courses, but Paris Promenade and Tokyo, it wasn't Turbine. I don't remember what the Tokyo course was called. Were both tracks that impressed me. I liked both those tracks. I had very little expectations for them, but I was thoroughly impressed with both those tracks. Paris Promenade and whatever the Tokyo one was. I don't remember its name. So yeah, having New York Minute, that's a neat one. And what I liked about them is that they change, right? The laps in Paris Promenade for the third lap, you go in the opposite direction, right? In the Tokyo one, you go onto the freeway for the final lap, right? Like, they change routes. And I think, I'm going to assume New York Minute and Sydney Spring are going to work the same way as well, or at least similarly. Because I think those are neat ideas. I know people hate the Mario Kart mobile game. They're completely right to hate it. It's a loot box game after all, and it's not great. But it's, you know, I don't hate these courses, right? I'm not completely against them just because they're from the mobile game. And then and yeah, that's all the courses. Because yeah, Mario Circuit 3 and Snowland. Yeah, again, getting a new course and Waluigi Pinball, though, I mean, just getting honestly, this DLC wave would be a success just by getting Waluigi Pinball. So yeah, I'm super excited. It comes out Thursday, so in a few days. So that'll be really cool to see. You know, I'm pretty excited for that. I would, because part of the reason people were like speculating, are we finally going to get the DLC, is because the online had maintenance on the 28th. So there were a lot of people who were really hopeful we were finally going to get the DLC. But no, we got to wait another week. But it'll happen when it happens. Next up, so Amiibos. If you remember, the most recent Amiibo we got was Min Min. It's been a few weeks now. We got the Min Min. I think it wasn't June. I don't remember when it was. But a while ago, we got the Min Min Amiibo. And the Min Min Amiibo was neat. You know, I liked it. It's got some good design. But since we were also, at the same time we got Min Min, we were supposed to get Steve and Alex. But they just never came out. Yeah, we were supposed to get the Steve and Alex Amiibos, and we just never did. Because they got delayed. Even though, again, they're simple Amiibos. This is technically a win. I don't count this. I'm not going to count this. This is way too easy. But yeah, the Steve and Alex Amiibos now officially have a release date of September 9th. So that's a little over a month away. If I am correct, which I think I am, that's the same day as Splatoon 3. So they're coming out around the same time. So that's going to be, right, having those on the same day. God, that's, honestly, most people aren't going to give a shit, but for me, that's just more money to spend. I do not know. I'm pretty sure they're selling them separately. I know I think because they're either selling them as a duo, like a 2-pack where you have to buy both, or they're selling them separately, but then in Japan you can get them as a 2-pack, or it's vice versa, where they're selling them as a 2-pack, but in Japan you can get them as singles. I don't think any of the pre-orders have gone up, so we don't know yet. So yeah, that's coming out September 9th. That's right around the corner. You know me, I have every Amiibo, at least of the Smash Bros. Series. I have a few others here and there. So yeah, that'll be nice to have. I wish they did both male and female Byleth. Because, you know, Alex and Steve aren't that different, but we're getting both of them. Like, I understand getting both Pyra and Mithra. They're very different characters. But getting both Alex and Steve, that's kind of weird. I don't know. They might also sell very well. You know, it's Nintendo. Next up, so I have not played Nier Automata. Or Nier Automata. God, I don't know which way is correct. Automata. I always fuck it up. So I have never played Nier. I'm just gonna say Automata and just hope I'm correct. No matter what, somebody will yell at me in the comments, so I'm just gonna say Automata. So Nier Automata, I have never played. I just straight up haven't. It's always one of those games that I've heard nothing but great things about, like Persona 5, but I have never gotten around to playing. One day I will. One day for sure I will. It's in my back catalog. But, so, Nier Automata, so even though I haven't played it, I follow a few people on Twitter who do. And who are big fans of the game, mostly a bunch of artists. You can guess what type of art they make. But, so, earlier in the week, a story broke about how someone had discovered a secret church in Nier Automata. Basically, you know, I'm just going to switch pronunciations. I'm going to go back and forth. Basically, someone had found a secret door that only they could enter, right? Like, because they were confused, like, why can none of my friends enter this door? And when you entered the door to the secret door, you could climb down this really long ladder, and at the bottom of the ladder, there was a church. And this sent people spiraling. Because as far as we knew, every secret in Nier Automata had been found. Right? Even the game's director, Yoko Taro, who is just fantastic. Right? I would play Nier Automata just for what I've heard Yoko Taro say about the game. He's a fascinating guy, truly. Yeah. So yeah, this Nier Automata church, as far as we know, every secret had been found. Because at one point he said that, like, there's one last secret in the game that I'm disappointed players haven't found. And then someone found it and he confirmed that, yeah, that's the game's last secret. So all of a sudden, this one player being able to access this church, like, what's going on? There was all this speculation about, like, is this a development build, like an older build of the game? Is this the Switch version? Is this like a beta version of the Switch version or something? That was something I saw thrown around. We knew this was recorded on a PS4, but, you know, footage can be faked. But there was all this speculation, right? There was all this stuff about this Nier Automata church. So this happened over, like, the span of, like, 4 days. I remember the first day, it was like, hey, this door exists. And then, like, later that night or into the next day, it was like, hey, at the bottom of this door, there's a church, right? And then, like, they'd explored the church, and there was, like, this chest. And then they brought in a different character to, like, hack the chest, which then summoned a boss, which everyone was, like, freaking out about. And then, but the player who, like, discovered the church wasn't able to beat the boss. Eventually, they managed to beat the boss. So they eventually figured out how to do it. They beat the boss, which gave... And there was, like, in this church, there was cutscenes, right? There was all sorts of stuff here. It wasn't just like, oh, a simple church. No, there was, like, shit in here. And so they beat the boss, and then it, like, made this, like, goblet appear. And this goblet had questions in Japanese. And people translated those questions. And this was, like, 2 or 3 days in, right? This was on, like, the 3rd day. They translated the questions, and they were questions from a different game, Nier Replicant. Now, when this whole thing with the questions happened, and people were translating the questions, like, the original church, it was like, oh, wow, this is, like, a wild secret. I was originally, like, I was kind of, even though I don't play Nier Automata, I was kind of invested in this. And then the church thing, and then, right, the church, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And the new this boss, I was like, okay, this is a lot for, like, something. But then when this whole near replicant question thing happened, and, like, the chest that you hack also had some references to near replicant as well, it was like, oh, this is Yoko Taro's doing, isn't it? He's teasing, like, some sort of new game. There's, right, like, the second this whole chalice thing happened, that was my first thought, right? Because, again, not having played this game, but only knowing, right, people in the community and whatnot, it had been made abundantly clear. Because Nier Automata is on PC, but the game really can't be modded. Right? Like, the game, to the extent this is happening, the game cannot be modded to do, like, what the people were doing. So everyone had more or less decided that, no, this can't be a mod, this has to be something else. So that was a whole wild part of this. Is that, yeah, no, this can't be a mod. So after this whole near replicant part, I was like, the only option left is that it's a Yoko Taro himself teasing his next game or something. Right? This is all his doing. And in my head, yeah, that made sense. That made sense in my head for this to be Yoko Taro's doing. And then, I guess, at some point they figured out, like, right, as video footage kept coming out, it was like, if you answer the questions in a certain way, all of a sudden it reveals this new room with new cutscenes, and there's, like, a flower, and, like, this giant hand reaching out for the flower, and it was just like, this, like, already this was wild, right? But then it just sort of kept going. It was like we kept getting more information, and it just kept going. And the more it kept going, the more I was like, no, this has to be some sort of, right, this has to be Yoko Taro's doing. Eventually, on the 4th or 5th day, I want to say it was the 4th day. Maybe it was the 5th, because, yeah, I don't know exactly when. Because it originally started off as, like, a text post, and then later on footage was revealed and everything. But, so, by the end of the 4th day, it was officially revealed that, no, even though we didn't think modding Nier Automata was possible, 3 people, a team of 3 people worked together to mod Nier Automata, to build this new room, to, you know, do this boss, to do these questions. And I know some, like, I think it was kind of funny. When talking about the story, they put in their title, Nier Automata fans lied to. Right? Like, it was, oh, they've been lying to the community. Right? This whole thing was like a big, like, elaborate hoax or whatever. Right? And now, I haven't actually watched the video. That's just the thumbnail. I don't know, once we found out this was a mod, and right, this is 3 people who modded the game, I don't know what the reaction has been, admittedly. I kinda, once we found out it was a mod, I kinda stepped away, because I figure there's gonna be some toxic stuff in there. But for me, for those, like, 3 or 4 days, as someone who's not invested in the game at all, it was a really cool 3 or 4 days to see all of this information come out. Right, that was really neat. I really enjoyed that. And then finding out it was a mod, I mean, that just shows how much potential there is in modding Nier Automata. Right, someday people are gonna do something great with this game. Right, now that we have these modding tools, potentially, yeah, people are going to do impressive things. It's gonna be really cool. And yeah, I think as a start goes, this was a great start. So yeah, I overall actually take a very positive lean towards things. I don't know if I don't think I'm the only one to take a positive lean, but I'm going to assume there's a lot of people who are negative. My personal reference point is Rayman from, you know, Rayman Origins, Rayman Legends, those sort of games. When what's his name? Omni? Oh, Sugar Snap Peas. Was it Artsy Omni? I think it was Artsy Omni. Faked a leak of him being in Smash Bros. Yeah, I look Artsy Omni, and the first thing I see is Raymond. So yeah, he made a fake leak of Raymond being in Smash Bros. That people believed for a few days, and then he revealed it was fake. Didn't Josh Thomas also do a fake? Smash Bros. There was something like that, with like a fake Smash Bros. Leak from Josh Thomas over at the BitBlock. I don't remember what it was, but I know there was something similar as well. I don't know. It's been a long time. I clearly just don't remember. I have no idea what it was. I remember the Artsy Omni one way more, because that was during like the Wii U era, and it was this whole thing, and it was really cool. But I feel like, yeah, there are some people who are going to be negative on this, but overall, I'm just really impressed. And yeah, for that 3 or 4 days, it was a really cool thing to see. We got some really great work out of it. We got some real, right? It was just seeing this community sort of come together to like slowly learn details about this mystery. It was like really cool. So we have to reach Gen 2 and we have to fly at top speed. Okay, we can do that. But first, I have to go get something real quick. I will be right back. We're gonna do a live action thing real quick. Oops, I forgot to unmute myself. So, as we get into WIBE today, it takes up a lot of... I can't move it any farther. It takes up a lot of space. Because normally I have it over on this side. So, I went to the store today, and while I was at the store, as you know me, I try all the crazy soda flavors. I saw this. So, this is Coca-Cola Marshmallow. You know, the fucking DJ whose music I don't really like. And so I just saw the can on the shelf as I was checking out, and I was like, yoink. So I went and grabbed 2. I would think, for Marshmallow Coke, for this DJ called Marshmallow, it would be marshmallow flavored. Now, supposedly some of those like Coke Starlights or Coke Bit or whatever is supposed to be marshmallow flavored, or it's like s'mores flavored. It doesn't fucking taste. Coke Starlight does not taste like that. It still fucking tastes like jelly beans to me. But no, if you read the can label, it's watermelon strawberry flavored. So yeah, we've got this marshmallow Coke. I think there was also like a Coke Zero variant. If you saw my Coke Bite review, I don't like Coke Zero and Coke Diet Coke or anything like that. I don't actually like Coke in general. Honestly, of all like the weird sodas I could get, I'd rather have a freaking Mountain Dew than a fucking Coke, because I just don't like Coke. I did, but that was a long time ago. Oh, you can immediately smell that. The strawberry, holy shit. Yeah. Oh, ooh. This ain't diet, right? I just don't like Coke. Really, that's what it all comes down to. I'm looking for something. There we go. Napkin. I spilled some of this weird Coke. I just don't like Coke. I really do think that's what it all comes down to. Is that and now I think the one good Coke is probably McDonald's, but they pay extra money to make sure their product is better, and it clearly shows. Because yeah, that just doesn't do it for me. Really, it's like, I would definitely say it is strawberry watermelon flavored. I taste it, but I just don't like Coke, so it... bleh. Like, it's not the worst. Like, I still think the Coke Bite is worse, and I think the Starlight was worse as well. Fucking jelly bean flavored Coke? Like, are we serious here? But this... Nah, I just don't like Coke. That's what it all comes down to, is I don't like Coke. So this fucking does nothing for me. Nah. I mean, I think I want to like it. Watermelon, I mean, I think, because I know there are those, like, it's those soda machines with, like, 140 flavors. I want to say those already have had either watermelon or strawberry flavored in them. I know they have raspberry, but I wouldn't have been surprised if they had watermelon or strawberry. But, nah, this doesn't do it. Marshmallow Coke just doesn't do it for me. Yeah, nah. I don't know. If you like Coke, you'll probably like this fine, especially if you like either of them. Because I do think it tastes like it. It's just... I just don't like Coke. Why do I keep buying them then? Fuck me if I know. I actually... So all my soda stuff's right over there. It's on a shelf over there. And one of my roommates hit the shelf, and just a bunch of cans came tumbling down. Nothing broke, but my cinnamon Coke has just a massive fucking dent in it now. It happens, you know. Also, I hate these fucking weird cans. Like, yeah. You know, I guess this is kind of off topic, but I guess this shows the success of Pepsi Nitro. Because, like, I don't like Coke, and I don't like canned Pepsi either, but I like the Pepsi Nitro. I was thoroughly impressed with that. I saw it somewheres recently. Recent-ish. Probably like a month or two ago. Probably a month ago. But yeah, I guess that the fact that I like that one, I guess that shows how good it was compared to all these fucking Coke Starlights and whatnot. But yeah, I just wanted to take a quick detour to talk about that. I guess I'll return you now to your regularly scheduled Fall Guys. Oh shit, I just hit the wrong button. Alright, here we are back in regularly scheduled Fall Guys. Give me a second. But yeah, I went to the store just to pick up a few different things, and I just happened to see that. You know what? One of the things I was looking for is they did Hot Ones Pringles. So, you know, the show Hot Ones. They did like 3 flavors. I have not been able to find any of those flavors. I don't know how much I would like them, but I am curious. I'm curious enough to try them. Alright, so what do we have to talk about today? Let's start off with a videos game. So I've only played... okay, so Xenoblade Chronicles 3, as you know, I did get the deluxe edition. It was literally... I think it happened literally in like a Pokemon stream. Right? I was sitting in the lobby waiting to try to get a copy, and I managed to. However, Nintendo has not shipped it yet. So even though tons of people are playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I haven't, because they have not shipped my copy. So I am just slowly waiting on it for who knows. Even when I get my copy, I probably won't play it. But You know, I am color me curious, per se. But yeah, so I have not played Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I know it's the game everyone's talking about. At least, more or less. However, the one video game I did play. So when the day the reviews dropped for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I went to read a few of them just to see what people were saying. Very positive reviews. Like, seriously, it's getting... I think it was at like a 90 last I checked. But I was looking... It's probably gone down. It's probably at like an 86 now, if I had to guess. But when I went to OpenCritic, right, which is the source I use, because I don't like... they're both OpenCritic and Metacritic are flawed, but I like OpenCritic more. It's less flawed, if I had to put it into words. But, so I was curious. So I went to OpenCritic, and I was just, like, scrolling through their list, and I was like, oh, what's the highest reviewed games of the year, right? Just out of curiosity. And one of the highest reviewed game, like the third highest reviewed game of the year, is a puzzle game called Freshly Frosted on both PC and Switch. It might be on mobile as well. But I saw that and I was like, huh, that's it's a game about donuts. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. Yeah, you know, I'll check that out. Freshly Frosted. I looked it up on Switch with just the plan of, like, adding it to my wish list or whatnot. And then the game was, like, $10, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to add it to the wish list. I'll just buy it, straight up. Right, I could go for a good puzzle game right now. So, yeah, I picked it up, and it's a little game all about you're moving donuts on conveyor belts. So you start off, and you're like, oh, this is the place where the donuts start, and this is the place where the donuts have to end. And then along the way, you have to frost the donuts, put sprinkles on them, put whipped cream on them, and put a cherry on them. So honestly, it's weird that you're doing donuts and not ice cream, but like, whatever, honestly. Because I don't think I've ever had a donut with whipped cream or cherries on it. Just straight up. Like, I thought you would be cream filling the donuts and, right, doing stuff like that. But no. It's always those same four things. But, you know, they do add some twists and some turns here and there. It takes a while for them to add them, right? The game starts off very simple, and it really does want you to master the mechanics before it starts throwing twists on there, which actually did surprise me. So I want to say there's like 12 worlds with 15 levels per world. I think it's 15, that sounds right. But so it's just a few worlds with, right, so many levels. But so I was just like, oh, I'll play this fun little donut game, sure. And yeah, definitely the first, like, 4 worlds are all about you learning the mechanics. After that, though, the game definitely does take the turn, and it starts introducing more complex mechanics. Like, for example, there's a whole one that has to deal with, switchers, right? Which is, like, one of the most obvious things I thought would be introduced in, like, the second world. Where it's like, oh, you're starting off with 1 entrance, and now you have to get donuts on 2 exits by, you know, switching whether the donuts go left or right. That was just something that made sense, and it takes them a while to introduce that. But they do eventually. And then later on, you get stuff like teleportation, right? There's, like, little teleporters. There's one that has, like, these automatic connectors. Or these conveyor belts that you can't, like, move. So there will, like, always be a conveyor belt in that place. And it's just a bunch of little things like that. You know? Okay, so we got everything from this Yeetus challenge. Which really isn't anything that good, but whatever, I'll take it all. Squad shows. Okay, we can do squad shows. But yeah, so it's right. You get teleportations, you get these conveyor belts, you get all sorts of things like that. And like there will be certain challenges where it's like, oh well, you start off the level with just one entrance, but you have one exit for plain donuts, one exit for frosted, one exit for sprinkled, one exit for whipped cream, one exit for cherry, and you gotta like figure out a way to like get all those donuts out. And one of the things you learn early on, and that I for a brief moment I forgot about, but you can, so like let's say for every like 10 plain donuts you exit out one frosted. That's fine with the game, right? It's fine as long as you're getting them either in the right spot or as long as you're getting all the types out, right? That's what the game cares about. It doesn't care about how many of each you're getting out as long as you're getting them all out, because there are some levels where you will create like 1,000 frosted donuts and only like one cherry, but all you need is that one cherry. But it's a very solid puzzle game. I was going very smoothly through it until I want to say like the 6th or 7th world. What was the gimmick in that world? I don't think that was the gimmick splitting, where like they introduced like the splits. I don't know. I don't think that was. I think it was like the world after they introduced splits. But right, everything was going very smoothly for me. I was, at most, I don't think I had spent like more than like 20 minutes on a level. Until I got to the end of whatever world I was on. And it was the last level of that world. And what you got to do in this, right, what you had to do is you had to get right one of each. Non-frosted, frosted, sprinkled. You had to get one of each. And I just couldn't do it. And you had to use like the splitters to do it. You had to use the split. Oh, it was the one that introduced push blocks. So it's like a moon level? I think it's the moon. And they introduced like these push blocks. So it's like if a donut that's like frosted passes a push block, it'll push it forwards onto like a different conveyor belt. Very simple idea. So you've got this one where you need one of each output, and there's a pusher block for like a fully like cherry donut. And no matter what, I must have tried for over an hour. No matter what I could do, I couldn't figure it out. Because like I could get it everything but the plain donut. So I would make some changes, then I could get everything from the frosted donut. And what happens is you get stuck in these like loops because you're using like a splitter. So like the first donut will go left, then the second donut will go right, then the third donut will go left, right? Back and forth, back and forth. You can accidentally create loops where every frosted donut goes left. Even though you don't want it to, because of how like donuts, like when you create like a circle, they can like re-enter the conveyor belt like in a certain pattern where just every donut goes left, and it makes the level impossible. And it drove me crazy. Like this level took me like well over an hour. And then it was, once I finally figured it out, I had no idea how I did it. It was just like, oh, okay, I guess I have no idea why this solution was much different, but I guess it works. And then it was one of those things where it's like, if you asked, like 5 minutes after beating the level, if you had asked me to like recreate my solution, I couldn't, right? I couldn't tell you why my solution worked, or if you had me like redo it, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So, right, that level drove me crazy. The next world, which I want to say was like 8 or 9, was all about like the conveyor belts that had already been like pre-placed. So there were these pre-placed conveyor belts, and you just had to work around those. That world was super easy, right? I had little to no problems with the pre-placed conveyor belts. Then the next world, which again, world 8 or 9 or 10, introduced portals. Again, portals are a mechanic I think makes a lot of sense to be in the game. I'm surprised it takes them so long to do it. So they introduced the portal mechanic, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then the final level of the portal world is very similar to the one I was stuck on for over an hour. And because I couldn't even tell you, like, how I solved the other one the first time, you better believe I couldn't tell you how to solve it, but now using portals, right? So I was just so lost on this one. I was like, what am I supposed to do here? And I had no idea what to do. So I was stuck on it for like, I was like trying to figure it out. I had a solution that I thought would work, where I was like, yeah, this makes sense in my head. And no matter what I did, it just didn't work. So I ended up going back to the original level I was stuck on, re-solving it to figure out like why my solution why I was able to beat it the other time. I beat it this time, right? I re-solved it, figured out why my solution worked, and then within like 2 attempts, of going back to the one with the final level of the portal world, I was able to solve it. Right, and the only reason I didn't solve it the first time is because I made one of the conveyor belts 1 part too long. It needed to be 1 shorter. The second I made it 1 shorter, it worked fine. But yeah, it's one of those things that just kind of drove me just a little, for like an hour, each of these levels drove me a little bit crazy. But once I figured out how it worked, and like the whole thing, the whole solution was that I needed the donut. So when you go to a splitter, it splits the donuts 50-50. And in like some of these conveyor belts, because you're trying to like get them in like a circle, where like every time they go through the circle, they get a little bit more toppings, but they also exit the machine. So the first go around, they get frosted. Then the second go around, they get sprinkled. And like, of the ones that get sprinkled, half of them leave, half of them continue. And then you have them go around and get whipped cream, and half the ones get whipped cream, continue on to get cherries, the other half exit. You're trying to do shit like that. But by splitting the donuts up 50-50, it just won't work. Right? Like, it doesn't, like 50% of the donuts ends up breaking things, and it creates these like infinite loops. However, if you break the pattern, then funnel it back into itself at a different point, and instead of it being like a 50-50 split, it now basically becomes like a 75-25 split, where now instead of 50% of the donuts exiting and 50% staying, it becomes 25% leave and the other 75% stay. Eventually, somehow, it'll all work out. It's a little bit more complicated than that. You have to actually create, like, you can't like just run the donuts into like a circle. You got to do like basically a big circle and a small circle. Right, it's a whole thing, but I figured it out, and then I was able to go back to the portal level and do something basically the exact same way, and it worked there as well. It was the same principle, just I had to do it. I had to basically set it up differently, and I didn't have a pusher this time. But yeah, and that was where I left off. I beat the portal level, and that was yesterday, and I haven't played the game today. But yeah, Freshly Frosted. 3rd highest rated game of the year. I don't know about that, but I'm definitely scratching my Zachtronic hole in my heart with a game about conveyor belts and donuts instead of conveyor belts and infinite factories that drive me to madness. Infinite Factory is pretty good. Space Chem, Opus Magnum. Opus Magnum is probably my favorite, but that's all personal preference. Infinite Factory is probably the better game. But yeah, as a $10 eShop game, I've already gotten my money's worth, and I have 2 to 3 more worlds to go. I think I have 3. I might only have 2 though. I kind of don't remember. But it's definitely a game that has a slow build. But, you know, it's been some time to really let you get your hand on the mechanics before it starts introducing new ones. But they are interesting things, right? The portals, the pre-placed conveyor belts, stuff like that. They're all interesting ideas. But yeah, I've definitely... The last Zachtronics game I played was Opus Magnum years ago now. I think that was 2019, maybe even earlier. And I kind of miss them. I kind of miss Zachtronic games. So it's cool to get a... God, if you just finished, we could have this. Maybe. I don't know how many people are left. I think if this guy finishes, we'll be good. But yeah, so that was Freshly Frosted. Just really enjoyable. You know. So yeah, that was the only game I played. I did watch an anime. So it was a show I'd already seen before, but I was just, for some reason I was thinking about, oh, we're tied. Oh, come on, don't finish. Don't finish. Yeah, good. So I watched an anime called Luck and Logic. I had seen it before, but for some reason I was just thinking about it again. And I was like, yeah, I'll watch it again. So basically, it takes place in this... They never actually call it Earth. It's basically like a whole different timeline where people live on this planet called Sepia? Septpia? I don't actually know how it's spelled. But basically this world that is basically Earth-like is being invaded by other worlds, right? Like monsters and gods and demons and whatnot from other worlds. Like the only other world I remember is Tetra Heaven. And so these like creatures come from the other world and they bring this like these paradox zones, and anyone in the paradox zones gets this paradox sickness that will kill them. And so humans team up with goddesses and I guess gods to, you know, fight back and, you know, stop these monsters and whatnot. So you have the hero who used to be like this big shot in Hong Kong. But when a human and god goes into like overdrive, it causes this like platonic reversal that causes them to kind of like lose their like... So everything in the world is like done through cards called logic cards. So like every human has 1,000 logic cards, every god has 1,000 logic cards. Everything is made up of logic cards. More or less. So the hero has, he does this whole overdrive thing, and as a result he loses his logic cards. But the goddess Athena finds his last logic card, and so he becomes a logicalist again. And so now he teams up with the other logicalists, whose none of their names I remember. I know the goddesses they're teamed up with, Valkyrie, Venus, and Artemis. Right? So he's on this now logicalist team. And you know, he's just fighting, and they're fighting to protect Earth from these demons. Like there's this bull, Toro style demon. There's some other crazy stuff as well. They fight an incubus and a succubus. They fight Quetzalcoatl at one point, but then one of the logicalists who doesn't have a partner ends up partnering up with Quetzalcoatl. And yeah, it's a very simple show. It's got a lot of background to it, like all this logicalist stuff, because like all the stuff we know, like us as humans know about like mythology and whatnot, none of it applies to this show. Like the people, even though they're called goddesses, that all the stories of like ancient myths just never happened. This isn't like Thor, I guess, where you're like, you know, the story in like the MCU, Thor has come to Earth before, and you know he's done all these epic battles and whatnot. No, the goddesses and the humans have like never interacted before this, right? And the only reason the goddesses are here are to protect the people of Septpia from the forces of Tetra Heaven. The main antagonist of the show is Lucifer, right? There's bad boy Lucifer who comes from Tetra Heaven down to Earth to, you know, be a bad boy. Oh wow, 3 crowns in a night. Oh look, we're at rank 22. Neat. Oh, we're getting close to the witch stuff. But yeah, so in Lucifer, like there's one of the logicalists who like doesn't, because there's 2 that don't have a partner. The one who teams up with Quetzalcoatl. And then there's like this other guy who doesn't have a partner, and he ends up teaming up with Lucifer, and they become the big bad villain. And then the hero has to go into overdrive again, and it creates an interesting finale. It's a very simple yet entertaining show. You know, every different member of the team gets their own episode, and then you've got the big finale that slowly takes place over time. The idea, like the whole humans being made up of 1,000 logic cards, and the whole paradox sickness like corrupts their logic cards. Like it's an interesting enough idea. It's a simple show, but I like it. Right? It's nothing outstanding, but it's enjoyable. There isn't a second season. There is a spin-off called Hina Logic, which is about this girl named Hina who ends up going to like a logicalist school, because like basically after the events of the show, like by defeating Satan, they've basically entered like peace times. So to train up all the logicalists, they start like a logicalist school basically, and Hina's one of the students in the school, teamed up with Rosa, who isn't a goddess, which is kind of weird. Like even though a lot of the show deals with like gods and whatnot, they just create like a character that isn't one, and I mean, again, that's kind of fine. Like I don't think they ever give the Tauros demon like a real name, and I don't know, it's just weird. Like it kind of, Hina Logic I had never been able to finish. I've tried, I think twice before, and it has a very different vibe. And like some of that's fine, right? I'm fine with a slightly different vibe. I just don't find it as enjoyable, you know? Like the high school setting, the high school-ish setting should work. And we've got all these new characters. It should be fun. But I just don't really enjoy it as much as I want to. I'm going to give it another shot, you know, now that I've rewatched Luck and Logic. I'm going to try again, but I really don't expect much. But yeah, it's whatever. But the main show, I think, is a lot of fun. You know, it's got some decent action. It's got some creative visuals. It's got interesting characters. All around, I enjoy it. So, next up, I have not been talking about it because I've been waiting to finish the season. Not the newest season, but I was a season behind. The Boys. The Amazon Prime show, right, about Huey, Butcher, and Mother's Milk and Frenchie teaming up to fight Vought and the evil Superman and whatnot. So I watched the first season of the show when it came out, and you know, I thought it was good. I was like, yeah, I like this, you know. I know it's very divisive for people. It really is. I think it really depends on how you view for a lot of people, it's how you view the trope of evil Superman and evil Justice League, because Homelander is evil Superman, and right, you have this like sort of evil celebrity corrupted Justice League. But I watched the show when it came out, and I thought I liked it, right? I was like, yeah, I enjoyed this. I'd watch more of this. And then when season 2 came out, I was just busy or something. I don't remember the exact reasons, because this was what, 2019? I think it was 2019. That sounds right. It might have even been 2020. I don't know, but for whatever reason, I just didn't watch it. But season 3 wrapped up like a week or two ago, and I was like, you know what? I need to get back into The Boys. So so a week or two, I think like around the time episode like 6 was coming out, 6 or 7, I started it up again. I didn't rewatch the first season, but I watched like a recap. And I was like, okay, I'll watch the second season. Now, admittedly, I knew a few things about the second season going into it. So, spoilers ahead for the second season of The Boys. I knew going into the show that 1, Stormfront was a Nazi, and 2, they beat the shit out of her at the end of the season. What else? There were like 1 or 2 other things I knew going in, but it wasn't much other than that. Those were the 2 big points. So yeah, I was just like, yeah, it won't let me quit. I don't know why I'm pretty sure I'm out. It's not letting me quit though. So yeah, I was like, that was like the 2 main things I knew going in. So I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. And I think the show is fantastic. This, a lot of people, I know a lot of people have said like, oh, this is great, like a great take on like criticizing the modern day like superhero industry and the MCU and shit like that, right? Like there's a scene where they 1-for-1 parody It Will Not Let Me Leave. I'm just stuck in this. Yeah, It Will Not Let Me Leave. But yeah, so there's like a whole, so if you saw, there we go. Like, in Endgame, there's that scene where, like, all the female heroes get together. And some people really fucking hate that scene. I think it's fine. I think some people are just fucking assholes who can't enjoy a simple thing. Or, you know, just admit something wasn't made for them. Right. But, so I think the scene's fine. Whatever. But, when it comes to right, they parody shit like that. But in my opinion, The Boys it parodies superheroes tropes and whatnot. Like the start of season 3, which I've only seen the first episode. They're basically making fun of like Zack Snyder's Justice League, right? The Justice League, the Snyder Cut and whatnot. They're making fun of that at the beginning of the season. So they're definitely parodying superheroes. But that's not what the show's about. The show is not a parody of superheroes. It's a parody of celebrity culture and of politics. Specifically right-wing politics. So I've only seen the first episode of season 3. But I guess shit happens later in this season that has made caused like an uproar in the Boys community, as a bunch of right-wing Boys fans have realized that, oh, Homelander is the villain, right? That, oh, the character they liked and were rooting for is actually the bad guy, and he's also a Republican. And like it sent the Boys subreddit into like complete meltdown as a result. So I have that to look forward to this season. But immediately in the second season, you have Stormfront, who is all about fake news, and she controls the media, and she's using memes and whatnot to basically the right-wing pipeline, right? The alt-right pipeline to get people who like Stormfront. And you even see this at the start of one episode where a guy kills a convenience store worker who they think is a super terrorist, right? And you get a lot of shit like that. But yeah, no, it's a parody of like celebrity culture, because everything, right? Homelander cares more about being beloved by people than he does about anything else. That's the point of the season. That's why Maeve is able to blackmail him with the clip of them killing all those people in the airplane. Because if the people don't like Homelander, well, he's just gonna kill them all. Because he cares about their love more than he does about Stormfront or getting his son back or anything like that. And you get a great moment where he's at the rally in front of Vought, and he's like trying to calm the crowd down, but he then just snaps and kills them all, and then you find out it's just like his fantasy. And so yeah, I definitely think the entire show is an indictment of celebrity culture, right? They're filming a movie throughout a lot of the season. But the show's just fucking wild, and you get tons of crazy shit. Right, it's bloody, it's violent, and I know some people are going to get turned off by that, but I'm fine with it. Right, I'm fine with characters who aren't Superman being violent. Fucking shocker. You know, maybe if they could actually give us a fucking Superman, I would... Right, maybe people wouldn't complain if they gave us just a proper fucking Superman who just didn't kill people. But no, Warner Brothers and DC just fucking refuse. They would rather burn the building to the ground than give us an accurate Superman. Man. Yeah, there's just a lot of good shit throughout the season. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. There's a ton of shit I'm forgetting, like Kimiko's brother, who, that was a good twist, and then Stormfront killing him. It was like, ah, shit. Especially because that's kind of like your first, like, big hint that she's a fucking Yahtzee man. So that's a whole thing. And yeah, and then yeah, Stormfront's whole thing is she wants to create the Aryan race with Homelander. Everything that has to do with Becca and Ryan, right, Homelander's kid, and it's some pretty fucked up shit there as well. And the whole scene where Stormfront convinces Homelander to basically kidnap Ryan, that's all really good. So yeah, I've just been thoroughly impressed with the show. I know going into this next season they're gonna get... I thought they were getting superpowers. It seems to be a little more complicated than that. That like they're temporary. The first, in the start of the third season, the scene where I think his name was Termite, basically the Ant-Man parody. So there was that whole thing in the lead up to Endgame or post-Endgame. I don't remember when it happened. Talking about like, oh, why can't Ant-Man just turn really tiny, crawl up Thanos' ass and kill him? Yeah, they make fun of that in the start of the season. And they have like this termite and he crawls up the dude's dick and then grows giant and kills him. And it was like, oh shit. Because yeah, even though I definitely do think this is all, the show's an indictment of celebrity culture, it doesn't mean they don't parody superhero stuff and they don't talk about it. It's just, the show's got a clear focus, right? A villain. And the superhero stuff is just like a means to an end to express those ideas. And it's all really effective. The actor who plays Homelander, fucking amazing job. Holy shit. And another scene that has to do when Maeve and when Homelander outs Maeve as bisexual, and then right they all turn it into like this whole campaign about, and they're like, oh, Maeve's a lesbian now because right, lesbian sells better to the stockholders. You get good shit like that. And yeah, the whole show is just an indictment about how celebrities fucking suck. And celebrity culture is just the death of society. It's a little... Again, it's taking it to its extreme because you have these superheroes who could, you know, end the world. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the second season. I was really impressed with it. I'm ready to watch more. The cliffhanger at the end of the second season, because there was like a person who kept like exploding people's heads, and at one point there's like this girl in like they go into like an asylum at one point, and there's I think her name's Carly. I don't know. That sounds right. Who can also do the exploding thing. And then you find out, oh no, the person who exploded the CIA director and the bunch of Congress people was actually the senator who's fighting against Vought. That's a bit, because right, there's another one because the senator fighting against Vought is clearly right parodying AOC and whatnot. But then finding out that she's the villain, it's like, oh shit, where's that gonna go? Like, there's clearly something there, and I do wonder if she's actually working for Vought, or if there's just something else, or if she, right, because she was experimented on Vought, she is genuinely trying to destroy them. It does leave a lot of questions. Giancarlo Esposito is in the show as the head of Vought, and he does God, he's so fucking great in everything he's in. So he does a fantastic job as well. Yeah, it's all around just a fantastic show. And yeah, I was thoroughly impressed with the second season, and I'm ready to watch the third. But I take my time. Yeah, it took me a while to get back to, but I'm glad I did, you know. Also, there was a lot. In the final episode they address it. But as I was watching the show, I'm like, has every episode had a Billy Joel song in it at this point? And this was like 5 episodes in. I was like, there's a lot of Billy Joel in this show. And then finally, in the final episode, they address it that, yeah, Huey's mom was a big fan and whatnot. I'd completely forgotten that Huey's dad was, the Shaun of the Dead Hot Fuzz guy, oh god, I'm forgetting the actor's name. I'd completely forgotten that. And then in the start of the 3rd season, he shows up again, and I was like, oh yeah, shit, he's in it. I forgot, Haley Joel Osment's in the 1st season as Mesmer, which was just something I randomly remembered. Are we still in it? I don't honestly know. But yeah, I'm really impressed with the boys. The last thing we got to talk about tonight is the season 3 of Harley Quinn finally premiered. Harley Quinn was probably the best show I watched last year. I was like, I had heard people who said it was good. Finally sitting down to watch it. Not only are they right, but it's fucking amazing. Harley Quinn season 1 and 2 are so goddamn impressive. So yeah, well, I was super excited for the 3rd season. I mean, I even picked up the comic book. They did a comic book tie-in for the Eat Bang Kill Tour that has like Vixen, and Nightwing shows up in it, but he also shows up in the show. I don't know, it's just really impressive all around. And so I was like super excited for the start of the next season, and it finally premiered today, or yesterday, I mean. Yesterday, that sounds right. But yeah, so I was super excited for more Harley Quinn. It's a great show. And the start of the 3rd season, I mean, I am really happy to see Harley and Ivy together. They make a really cute couple. I like some of their little moments together. They're very cute. So I'm super invested on that front. So let's go around the long way. I hope. God, I hope we can make this jump. God damn it, no, we couldn't make that jump. I blew it right there. If I had made that jump, we would have been able to do it, but I didn't know if we could. Because we had that entire top area to ourselves. And you flipped it. Yeah. Yeah, so that was partially my fault. But yeah, so Harley Quinn Season 3, it starts off with them returning back to Gotham. Yeah, Nightwing's in it now. Well, it originally actually starts off with them, like, Poison Ivy has like this big plan to like revitalize the Earth. There was Eden, this project that she considers a failure. And Harley, you know, just wants to be a really good, supportive girlfriend. But, you know, she's also the type who struggles to sit still and wants to kick the shit out of people. So, right, she really struggles with that. She ends up kidnapping Amanda Waller, and they have to fight Plastique from the Suicide Squad at one point. It's very simple. But yeah, I definitely, of these 3 episodes, I'm definitely not, like, blown away by anything yet, but I'm still enjoying the show, right? Nothing's really stood out, but it's still really solid. Like, the first episode, you know, it's just really cute to see Harley and Ivy together. I think they're a great couple. I think, right, this whole dynamic, I still stand by my prediction that I think Ivy's gonna become a hero. And then, because they're dating, Harley's going to become a hero as a result. I still think that's going to happen. But we'll see in due time. But yeah, because she's got this whole plan to revitalize Gotham. And we see in, like, the 2nd episode, it's not entirely second and 3rd. That, right, the formula she's trying to make, right, it's going too much and it's exploding. And they end up blowing up their, like, base as a result, right? The mall they've been living in. Clayface is working as James Gunn's chair, because yeah, James Gunn is in the show and directing the Thomas Wayne biopic, and then Clayface accidentally kills the actor who's playing Thomas Wayne, so now he has to pretend to be Thomas Wayne. That's where the 3rd episode ends. That's really funny. Getting in Edward Nygma's escape room. Right, that's a good idea, right? Because of course the Riddler would do fucking escape rooms. And you get a really, I love the moment with Barbara and Harley where they're like, yeah, we're both right. This was like a really good idea. It's not our fault this turned out to be the Riddler's thing, right? We really did need that team building. We're badasses. That was a really great little moment, because meanwhile, Ivy is stuck with Nightwing, who's just having a freak out. Oh, God. Yeah, because all the like, Damien's a little shit. Who's just, right, who's just a fucking ass. I don't like Damien. But then, and then, so you got that, you got Nightwing back. And then, Jason Todd, they were referencing Jason Todd's death in the, the third episode with the villain awards, which just great. Did they parody the keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth? I don't think. I think I'm thinking of something else that parodied that recently. Yeah, no, I don't think they did. But yeah, you go to the awards show, you meet Kite Man's new girlfriend, and I do like the scene with Ivy and Kite Man's new girlfriend, Golden Glider, I think her name is. That's a really good scene. Meanwhile, Harley's trying to rig the awards to win, but then they end up actually winning anyways. But by that point, they fucked off. The villain awards, God, Harley and Ivy's outfits, like, holy shit, yeah, they look great. I love with, because they're up for best couple against Riddler and Clock King, and I love when Clock King starts crying, the markers on his face just, like, right, they start, like, bleeding like mascara. That's really, running, the word I was looking for was running. That was really funny. And it's just, there's a lot of wholesomeness in this, man. Even though they're beating the shit out of people and killing people, right? Like I said, the one guy gets mauled by a tiger. There's also just this wholesomeness to it, and I think the showrunners came out and said that, like, they have no plans to break up Harley and Ivy, right? They're gonna stay together as a couple for the rest of the show. And yeah, that's definitely the right way to do it. Don't bury your gays, people. Don't bury your gays. But yeah, so I'm enjoying it. Nothing I've seen so far has blown me away, like some of the stuff in the first 2 seasons. But none of it's bad, like, at all. And you've just got some really good moments, and I'm excited for more. They started off right. The first 3 episodes all came out at once. I have no idea what the release schedule is from here. I know there's a lot of debate about release schedules right now. Specifically, Netflix is releasing them all at once, whereas what Disney does with Marvel, where you got, like, the traditional style of once a week. And how do streaming platforms move forward? I personally used to be a big fan of the way Netflix did things. Having all the episodes at once was really nice. But the more time's gone on, right? As like a kid, teenager, you know, whatnot, same difference, right? The Netflix model was always really nice because I could just binge the entire thing in a few days. As an adult, I don't have the fucking time anymore, right? I can't, like, yeah, sure. Did I binge probably like 100 episodes of regular show in like 3 weeks? Yes, but I also did nothing else in those 3 weeks. Oh, come on. But yeah, I just don't have the time anymore. So having these weekly releases with what Marvel is doing has worked out really well. I think the Marvel method so far has really worked. Right, what Marvel's been doing with the streaming game. Again, I know they're not the first one to do it, because this is how TV has worked at time immemorial. But it's clear that the Netflix way, because, like, right, what happened, it's the difference of, like, every week people were coming back to talk about Moon Knight, whereas Stranger Things happens, and then a few days later, right, you've either binged it, or you're never going to binge it, because, you know, people have moved on by that point. So, yeah, Netflix lost another, like, 1 million subscribers or whatnot. Hey, maybe this is part of the problem. Not their only problem. God, not their only problem. I mean, it's, right, everybody wanted a piece of the pie. Netflix has the worst catalog. So no wonder people are, you know, I think HBO and Disney are the best ones. Honestly, of, like, all the... If I just had... I would say if I just had those two, I would be happy. But I do just have those two, and I got a month of Paramount, or I got a year of Paramount Plus for like $1 a month, so I technically have that one. I'm borrowing somebody else's Amazon Prime. But yeah, no, it's really... I totally get why Netflix is... Because they have the worst stuff. Do I even have Hulu? I don't even think I have Hulu. I might, but I don't think so. You know, I get why it's all falling apart. Alright, I guess that takes us into the end. I said it was going to be like an hour-and-a-half show. I'm going to stick by that. So I guess that takes us to the end. So I've been I'm extremely busy in the month of August. I said before that, right, even though I did not, like, I wanted to do so much this summer, and I just did sweet FA. We took a month plus on Pokemon. We did Shovel Knight, and then we did Bug Snacks. But there was so much more I wanted to do, and I just got around to none of it. And now here we are in August, and I just don't have the time to do any of it. So yeah, I will totally say that from here, for at least probably the next month, we're back in just in chat. So it'll just be in chat every Saturday. There will be no Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday streams and whatnot, or, you know, just whenever I did them. Because I didn't always do them on those days. So yeah, the whole streaming schedule as it used to be is more or less gone. Right? At least for the month of August. I hope to bring it back in May, or in September, I mean. But for now, as I'm thinking about it, yeah, definitely August is just going to be in chat. At the moment, that's the plan, just in chat. And hopefully it all works out well. Ah, shit. Okay, whatever. But yeah, and the whole, I'm gonna be honest, the whole reason I'm doing it is because I got a new job. I got a new job. Today was my first day, and it was a busy day. Right, I'm doing all my training and whatnot. Yeah, I got a new job, so I'm hoping eventually, like, once I've done some of the training and whatnot, things will kind of mellow out, and I'll have more time. But at the moment, no. For the foreseeable month of August, I'm just too busy. I just won't have the time. So that's why I'm just... I think I can still pull off Saturday streams. I like doing the Saturday streams. So, yeah, that's the plan at the moment. I'm going to work my new job, and we'll just stream on Saturdays. And then hopefully in September, we'll bring back Pikmin, Splatoon, whatever I decide to do. I don't know, I'll figure it out then. But that's the hope for when that happens. And, so, since we have finished the Fall Guys Season Pass, the other thing we should talk about. We have officially finished the pass. We're probably going to take a break from Fall Guys. For the next few weeks, anyways. We're going to take a break, and we're probably going to be shifting over to Minecraft. Because, if you don't know, there were, in the most recent update, they added 4 new achievements. And I've got to start working on all of them. 2 of them are going to be stupid easy. 1 of them is going to be a little harder. And the last one's going to be a pain in our fucking ass. But we'll figure out how to do all of them. So for the next few in chats, we're going to be doing Minecraft. Because, yeah, I don't have a... Who cares about that? These are going to take, 400 crowns. That's basically double the crowns we have right now. Yeah, that's not happening. Anytime soon, anyways. So yeah, I'm going to be taking a break from Fall Guys to, do other things. And then in September, Splatoon 3 comes out. And for those who don't know, because you haven't been around long enough, and I don't blame you, this show, In Chat, originally started off as a show called Splat in Chat. The original season of In Chat, with, I want to say, 2 exceptions, took place entirely in Splatoon. And it was a monthly show. So hopefully once Splatoon 3 comes out, we'll go back to Splatoon, and for maybe a month or 2, Splatoon will be the game we play every Saturday. And then maybe the Fall Guys Marathon, which we actually completed one of these today. This one. Right, the Fall Guys Marathon ends in 30 days, so the new season might also start in September. But if I had to pick between Fall Guys and Splatoon, I'm definitely going Splatoon. I also now have all these, which are crazy to think about. But yeah. So yeah, that's the plan at the moment, is to just go back to Splatoon in September, but we'll see. But I'm definitely doing we're doing Minecraft maybe for the next month. For the month of August, we'll be doing Minecraft, and hopefully that'll be a lot of fun. Because I like Minecraft. We like Minecraft. God, that's a fucking terrible reference. That really, hopefully you don't get it. I don't even know why I said it. Maybe we'll do Mario Kart. I mean, we got DLC coming out next week. We probably won't be. I don't know. I should. I do like Mario Kart. But yeah, I think that's all we got for tonight. It's a very simple night, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. I wanted to keep it simple. I'm so fucking tired. It was a long training day today, and I'm ready to go to sleep. Oh god, I still gotta get to it when I get to it. Yeah, so yeah, it was, again, there was so much more I wanted to do this summer, but so yeah, we will be back next week. Minecraft. We'll see whatever news has in store for us. I'm still waiting for like a big Splatoon breakdown at some point, because the game comes out in a month, and like there's got to be an open beta at some point, or open or closed beta, doesn't really matter. There's got to be the new waifus. There's gonna be all sorts of shit, and we've gotten none of it so far. Oh, I haven't played Multiverses yet either. I've been hearing people talk about that game this past week because I think it went into open beta, and even though I'm not super in theory I'm super interested. If it was a paid game, if Multiverses was like a $60 paid game that just gave you everything, well, it'd probably be a little too expensive. I would probably pick it up. But as a freemium game where you have to like buy the characters, I'm a lot less interested in it. But I might still download it on the Xbox or something. I'm just curious enough. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Oh, is it? It's alphabetical, isn't it? Is that the best? That's probably better, actually. I don't know. I don't remember if there was a specific faceplate. It was this one. Okay. Look at my boy, Mechagods. I love Mechagods. Like I said earlier, Mechagodzilla is one of my favorite fictional characters of all time. I just love him so much. And so it's really cool to have this costume. I'm disappointed I don't have the original Godzilla, but whatever. Because it never showed up in the store. And now you gotta pay real money for it, and I'm not doing that. Because I still don't know if the 1,500 kudos we have are for us to like spend at our leisure, or if we have to buy the next season pass. Or, right, like they give you 1,500 kudos, and you can use those to buy the next season pass. Or if by having the max in this season, we now get the next season pass for free. I honestly, I know they said that's how it works, but they didn't specify if it's just you automatically get it, or if you get it for having the kudos from the pass. I don't know. So I have not spent any of them, and I don't plan on it. Not anytime soon. Look at that boy. Ah. Look at that boy. Alright, I've been stalling long enough. Yeah. We'll be back next week. We didn't even talk about the Minecraft controversy. Maybe we will next week if I remember. There's, you know, for every bit of news I talk about, there's like at least 2 things I skip that I usually just don't care about. And the Minecraft thing is very serious. And we've talked about it before, but you know, other people with bigger influences than me are fighting the fight. Hashtag save Minecraft. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Till next time. Peace.